no, I think it's a great series for a multitude of reasons. One, obviously, geographically, it makes a ton of sense. Makes great sense from a recruiting standpoint. Strength of schedule. Playing a Big 12 team in a neutral site is great. And again, I just think from a travel standpoint, it's good for our student athletes. Because it's so close to Tulsa. It's also great for our fan base as well.
Bob, you want to get it started?
Sure. Eric, I know you worked for Lon Kruger at Atlanta. Did you guys have a prior relationship, or what's the backstory on you going to work with him in Atlanta, and how was that for you?
Yeah, I loved working for Coach Kruger. I mean, he's forget all the basketball stuff. He's just a really, really great human being. I didn't really know him before working, with him with the Hawks, and now he's actually become, close with my wife Danielle because of the Coaches versus Cancer stuff and her involvement in that, and his involvement in that. But at the Nike retreat stuff that the coaches have, he and his wife, I've known him for so long. And actually, when Kevin, his son, was in high school, we used to play one-on-one even before and after practices. So great family, and he had called about this thing early on, and then Hunter got involved with the Oklahoma AD and so on and so forth. But the idea, was originated really with Coach Kruger.
And then as far as him hiring in Atlanta, how did that work? Did he reach out to you, or did you reach out to him, or how'd that work?
Yeah, no, he had reached out. I was in Orlando on Doc Rivers' staff, and I had known the GM. Pete Babcock had been with the San Diego Clippers, and Pete's brother had coached me at San Diego, so there was a connection with their GM, and I think that maybe Pete Babcock had given my name to Lon, and then Lon had a pool of people that he was going to call and talk to, and I happened to be one of them, and it was a great move for me. I was behind the bench in Orlando, and that got me on the bench. So it was a great, time with him, and obviously that led to the Golden State head job, and his recommendation with Golden State carried a ton of weight.
How would you describe your relationship now, and how do you feel about it?
Welcome in. It's our Thursday edition of On the Hill Sports Talk here on KDSJ 479, as we're with you each and every Friday, Monday through Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. And we'll let you hear audio from yesterday's Zoom teleconference with Coach Eric Musselman and Lon Kruger. You got the Musselman side of things, and Arkansas, as we made a note yesterday, we'll be opening up a series with the Oklahoma Sooners next December at the BOK Center, a 4-year series that will be taking place between the Razorbacks and the Sooners, and really, really excited. But we want to make a note before we get the lineup started. We want to make a note. Tomorrow, we will be joined by Arkansas Athletic Director Hunter Yurachek at the 1:30 hour. For those that want to tune in, I'm going to ask Hunter some really, really in-depth questions. I think some of the fans at Arkansas and we'd like to know going forward for this football season and beyond. So just want to make a note of that. And if you have any questions that you'd like to ask, if there's one question, you can share that throughout the show. What would that question be to Mr. Yurachek? But want to let everybody know tomorrow, Hunter Yurachek will be our featured interview at the 1:30 hour. So you want to hear a lot about what your HY got to say about Arkansas and the SEC and how things are looking going forward as far as athletics are concerned. You might want to check us out. It's going to be real and uncut, and I know you don't want to miss it. But over to my producer, Demetrius Johnson, the man behind the scenes. What's up, my man?
Not much, man. Really looking forward to this interview with Hunter Yurachek tomorrow. You know, fans really don't really know what the type of questions we're asking them, but we're really putting some fire under them to get some understanding of what's going on with this epidemic and, what are the steps that we could be potentially taking for this 2020 football season.
One of our main questions that we're going to ask is, could there be a 12-game SEC schedule if teams aren't able to play non-conference games? With the SEC having 14 teams, how interesting would that be if fans of the SEC could watch a 12-game season with everybody playing everybody? I think that would be really magical for the SEC going forward, and that's just for selfish reasons. We're covering one of I think the best conference in all of college athletics on a weekly and even daily basis. So that's just us being selfish, Demetrius, don't you think?
Yeah, I think that's every SEC true fans fandom football schedule, to play every SEC game, because certain times you look at Georgia, for instance. There's years where Georgia's kind of the automatic SEC East champion because they don't play really the top teams out of the East that year. They may play Florida or skip over the good ones that happen. But I think really if you did have a 12-game interconference season, you really know who's number one within your conference, and I think that will hold a lot of weight within the SEC.
Well, I know some players and some coaches that would love to have some of the kids on our Hall Guys segment as we're going to continue on. They don't stop watching, and we don't stop either. Going to give you a little football and even show you a little must-bust basketball action. Let's get this lineup started. Joining me here shortly from Gadsden, Alabama, Gadsden City High School, 2021 offensive tackle, athlete. The guy's a two-sport athlete, and quite the good one there he is. We're going to bring on Rod Orr, a big-time offensive prospect for Coach Brad Davis and that offensive staff here at Arkansas. We'll find out what Rod has to say about just his interest in Arkansas and multiple schools that are after the big fella. And then, we said it, it's time to do a little hoop talk. We're going to Orlando, Florida, Oak Ridge High School, where we're going to catch up with shooting guard, 6'6" shooting guard, I should say, Mike James. He'll talk about the must-bust, has a relationship with a coach on the staff. We'll find out how Arkansas and where they fit in as far as his plans are going forward. And then we're going to close it out as we're going to head back down to the Lone Star State. We just can't stay out of that state because there's too many Texas hopefuls that the Razorbacks are after. And we're going to catch up all the way down in Austin, Texas with 2021 running back, big-time running back prospect for Jimmy Smith and that Arkansas program, Tavierre Dunlap of Delville High School there in Austin, Texas. He'll be joining us in the 1:45 hour. So let's gas up. Let's get going with the Hall Guys. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Let's get it.
I know that our fans travel really well, and that should be a natural, place. Tulsa should be easy for our fans to get to.
How much experience do you have with Tulsa and the OK Center specifically?
Not much. My experience in Tulsa was in the old CBA, so there wasn't a lot of fans then, I can tell you that.
Do you think this would have happened, this series would have happened if it wasn't for your relationship with Coach Kruger and, of course, Coach Crutchfield also with his relationship?
Yeah, really, Coach Crutch didn't, he didn't really, he found out about it yesterday, actually. He was in the office, and we were talking about having this, that was the first time Crutch had found out about it. So, no, I think it was Coach Kruger's idea. Again, when we studied, where Oklahoma, is as far as, strength of schedule standpoint, we thought it was a great game for us. And then Hunter was really excited about it as well. I think from an administration standpoint, they thought it really made a lot of sense. And I know both administrations, went to Tulsa and had a meeting there, and that's kind of how it came about.
And my last question, there are a lot of Arkansas graduates who live in Tulsa. Is there any part of this series that's kind of an outreach to a fan base here?
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt that I'm sure there'll be, some alumni function and so forth that'll take place either the day of the game or the day before the game. I'm sure that'll be in the works. And again, I think any time that you can be in an area that you kind of recruit and you want to have your footprint in, this makes a ton of sense for both, Oklahoma and for us.
All right, I appreciate it. That's all I have.
Thanks, Nathan.
Welcome back. Welcome back. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio. It's our Thursday edition here on KDSJ 479. It's our Hog Eyes segment because we told you they don't stop watching at the University of Arkansas, so we don't either. And we like to bring it to you as only we know how and give the young men that are so highly recruited by the University of Arkansas a chance to have a platform just to discuss how things are going in their recruiting process. So we thought we'd load up the bus, shine it up, put new tires on, and get all the way to Gadsden, Alabama, where we catch up with newly offered 2021 offensive tackle out of Gadsden City High School, Rod Orr, R.O. Welcome to OTH.
Yeah, how you doing?
Doing very good, big fella. Talk about. I think we lost Rod, but we'll call him right back. We're gonna do a live call, buddy. We'll reach back out momentarily. Lost connection with Rod, but I want to get over to Demetrius as we had a malfunction. I'm sorry. We'll get Rod back here momentarily. Why don't we do this? Why don't we take a quick 30-second break? Get the big fella back on, and then we'll be back really quick. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Back in a quick second.
Yeah, I think, Kevin, if you kind of go back and look at our the way that we had scheduled it in Nevada, we had a lot of games in the Bay Area for the same reason. We'd like to do some games that are close here. Number one, it helps your student athletes from a travel standpoint. It helps your student athletes as far as, we're going to have a lot of parents be able to go to this particular game. And then I think there is some really positives that can come out of a neutral site environment as far as preparation for SEC tournament play, for potential playing an NCAA tournament. That was our thinking on neutral site games in the past. And the Las Vegas games are going to give us some neutral site against some really good competition, and so will this. So, I think it's just going to benefit our guys to be in those type of environments.
The man froze on us.
Kevin, you frozen?
I can hear you guys, but my screen went blank.
Do you have any
Can
more
you hear me?
questions? Yeah.
No, that's good. I'm trying to get back into the meeting here.
Okay.
The star has landed, and we have reconnected with our big fella from Gadsden City High School, Big Rod Orr. Before we had some technical issues, Rod, I wanted to talk to you about the recruiting process heading into your senior year. Arkansas comes out with an offer. Talk about that offer, and I know you're building a relationship with offensive line coach Brad Davis. Talk about that, if you would.
Coach Davis is a good guy. I mean, he hit me up, make sure I'm all right, check on me and my family. Just keep in touch with us, make sure everything going well. Make sure I'm liking the school. He always showing me something new about the school. He was showing me some of the players that got drafted like a few weeks ago. It was looking good. I mean, looked really nice. Coach, he's kind of a cool guy.
Who are some of the other schools, Rod, that are really making you high priority so early heading into the summer of your senior season?
Oregon, Tennessee, Minnesota, Mississippi State, UCF, USF. It's a couple of them. It's a lot of them for real.
What is it that you're going to be looking for, Big Rod? I know heading into your senior year is quite the decision, one of the biggest that you'll make. But what are going to be some of the things that you're going to look for to kind of put one school ahead of the other? And then the second part, Big Rod, what are you planning on majoring in once you pick your school of choice?
I really do not know yet, but me and my sister have been talking about it. And I had that done by maybe the end of the summer. And, yeah.
Now, I know we talked before we came on the air earlier about possible early graduation. Is that something still you and the family and your coaching staff are going to talk about? Or have you set on just signing that first Wednesday in February of 21?
Me and my family, we plan on it to happen, but, I mean, stuff can change. But as looking, I plan to graduate in December.
Now, with Arkansas head football coach Sam Pittman just recently being an offensive line coach himself at Georgia, took the head coaching job here at Arkansas. How much of a factor, Rod, do you look at that with a former offensive line coach, now the head coach at Arkansas, that places such a high emphasis, like all schools do in the SEC, on the line of scrimmage?
I mean, I love it. I mean, the coach, the head coach is the offensive line coach. So he's going to love the offensive line. He's going to take care of it. He's going to be the main person. I have to go there.
With Arkansas and Coach Sam Pittman, you see that he had two of the first-rounders, the only two first-rounders from Georgia, guys that he coached. How much do you look at that as far as when you think about Arkansas being a program that could be a development program for you so that you do have a chance as you aspire to get to the next level?
I mean, that feels great. I mean, if I decide to go to Arkansas, I mean, that means I have a chance because he had those guys going the first round. I might have a chance to go in the first round also in a few years, and that'd be great. That happens.
Talking with Big Rod Orr of Gadsden, Alabama, Gadsden City High School there in the state of Alabama. Big 2021 prospect. You also are a two-sport athlete, Rod. You play basketball as well, but, at 6'7", I mean, real athletic. How do you think that helps when you get into football at the offensive tackle spot?
Oh, maybe because I'm maybe faster than some of the defensive ends I'll play. I mean, I'm a little quicker than I guess so. I really don't know. Just help me with my speed. I know my stamina is great on the field.
Now, when you sat down with your offensive line coach and your offensive staff following your junior year, what were some of the things that you really said, hey, I feel good about this? And then what were those notes you wrote down, Big Rod, about what you were going to work on so that you have even a more successful senior year?
I was going to work on my pass blocking. You work on dropping back quicker.
Who are some NFL or collegiate players that you'd like to pay attention to?
Luke Clinkley from Panther, Carolina. He's one of my favorite linebackers in the game.
Now, when I come to Gadsden City High School there in Gadsden, Alabama, big fella, and I'm there with my popcorn, I may have fruit punch. I don't know. Whatever they got, I can drink. And, I like to keep cool with no ice. Big fella, what type of football player am I going to see in Rod Orr, big number 71, for 4 quarters when that ball is kicked off?
You're going to see a beast. I mean, it might be a little quiet before the game starts, but when the game starts, when that kickoff, when we kick the ball off, you're going to see a beast when I get out there on the field.
Now, let's have a little fun with it. We're riding around Gadsden, you and myself. I'm the OG. I want to see what the new sound is. In Club Rod Orr, what's the first 5 songs on the playlist?
It's a rapper called by the name of Young Mile. It's a song called How It Feel.
That's number 1. What's number 2?
Young Thug, Hot.
Number 3?
Gunna, Skybox.
Number 4?
Famous Dex, Japan.
And the final one, number 5 on the playlist.
Baby Plug, Ice.
I'm with that. RO. I'm with that. Well, I want to thank you for taking time out, and I want to ask you one last question before I let you go, and I want you to finish this statement for me. When football is over with, when it's all said and done, you've played collegiately, NFL, and it's all done, you're done with football, what will Rod Orr of Gadsden, Alabama do with his life after football?
I want to come back to where I'm from. I'm from Anniston originally, but I want to come back to Anniston and Gadsden and give back. I mean, I want to make us great. I mean, I want to make us great in sports and make children. I get better than what I was. I want someone to be better than me.
Good job. Well, I'm gonna tell you, my man, I'm not tampering, so I hope no one gets me for tampering. But there has been a very successful Razorback that came from Anniston, made his way to Fayetteville, and had a very extensive career with the KC Chiefs. Played linebacker here at Arkansas, but we won't talk about that because I don't want to be, charged for tampering. All right, my man?
Yes, sir.
Hey, well, let's not make this our last time. Let's keep in touch when the season goes on. You up for maybe once or twice a month? Let's get a roll update.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, Rod, thanks for taking time out on the hill, my man. You have a blessed summer, and you have a great, great rest of your day.
No problem. Thank you.
That's Big Rod Orr, the 2021 offensive tackle athlete. The guy plays basketball on quite the feet. I've seen some moves on the when he gets out the paint, there's all dunking. There's not many layups. But what do you see from big number 71 out of Gaston City High School?
Yeah, just a big physical guy. A guy that knows how to play through the whistle. And again, I think with the type of techniques he'll be learning here at Arkansas, he already has the physical attributes to go to the NFL. I think, like I said, with the right coaching, he can make that step to the next level.
Well, I'm talking about with the right coaching. We got another guy that can make his way all the way to the NBA. And Coach Musselman hopes that he picks that staff to be the right coaching staff to get him to that point. Up next, we got Mike Jones from Orlando, Florida, Oak Ridge High School. The shooting guard's up next, and talk a little hoops. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins, KDSJ 479. Back in a moment.
When you guys were talking about it yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously, he's got tremendous respect for Coach Kruger, as I do. But I think he thought it was a great game as well. I mean, Coach Ruda played. He plays a huge part in our scheduling, and he has for the last 6 years, and he puts a lot of time and studies. He studies it. I think he's as good as any scheduled guy in the entire country. I was more concerned with, quite frankly, what Coach Ruda thought of the game based on his research and time that he spends in trying to put forth the best non-conference schedule to give us a chance for postseason play.
I'm good, Kyle.
Tom?
Eric, a little bit off topic here, but I've been asking some of the other coaches on campus. We don't know when the coronavirus is going to allow return to normalcy. Are you planning, do you have in the back of your mind like a budget plan B in case things don't start rolling on as schedule?
No, I mean, I'm optimistic that, that we're going to be playing soon. I don't have anything other than just being optimistic, and I'm hopeful to be watching Coach Pittman's team play. Excited about that. Again, I don't have any medical, reason to say that other than just from an optimistic standpoint, getting back to normalcy as quickly as we can, but also as safely as we can with the student athletes. So, any budget stuff, I mean, that's internal stuff that we're dealing with Hunter or Clayton with. So I don't think there's any reason for me to publicly make any statement about that at all, really, Tom.
Well, I wasn't asking for like a public statement, but just in the back of your mind, if you're having to think of ways in case it does happen, to implement things other than what you have going right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think we always, I think, in all.
Back to our Thursday edition of On the Hill Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio here on KDSJ 479. And real quick, before we get on to our featured guest of OTH in our Hall Guy segment, I want to give a quick shout out to the sponsors that make this show possible. Lindsay & Associates with an office location in Fayetteville, an office location also too in Rogers. Locomotion, it's located below the Northwest Arkansas Mall in Fayetteville. Corey Beck's Custom Painting, and you know the one I talk about, KDK's Chicken, down at 989 South Razorback Road. Get down there and get a plate of that love from Keith and Kathy. And like they say, it's not your mama's, but I put this on. They got the best chicken and waffles in the South. Meet me there or beat me there. KDK's Chicken at 989 South Razorback Road. But on to the hoop side of things. Eric Musselman and that staff have hit the ground running. 120 games in year one, but really signed the nation's number 5 class, and they intend to improve on that in the 21 class. And by way of that, a guy that they think can really help them do that, we're going to make our way to Orlando, Florida, Oak Ridge High School, where we're going to welcome in 6'6" shooting guard Mike James. MJ, welcome to OTH.
What's going on? Thank you for having me.
Let's get off into the recruiting process. First, I want to talk about Arkansas. You just recently spoke with Eric Musselman and that staff, did a couple of virtual visits. Talk about that relationship and, how you see that going forward.
I previously had a relationship with Coach Williams. Me and his son used to play AAU back in the day in middle school in Orlando, so I know him pretty well. So when I saw him make that move to Arkansas, I was I was happy for him. I didn't know it would lead to this. Me and him having a relationship here in Arkansas, and him introducing me to Coach Musselman and the other coaches, and eventually that led them to seeing some film. They really liked my game, and they said I could really thrive in their program and their play style, and they eventually extended an offer out to me, man. I had a couple virtual visits. They showed me around campus. They took me through some presentations and gave me background on them and the rest of their staff and their play style, and it was really good.
With the staff that they have in place there, with guys like Coach Williams, not too many people understand that he was also recruited to play professional football as well. And then you had Coach Musselman, Coach Crutchfield, Coach Mosier, Coach Boykins. It just goes on and on. All those years of experience, when you weigh your options, MJ, how much of a factor does a guy like you with so many options have that, out there in the forefront?
I believe like every kid wants to be a pro and wants to eventually play in the NBA. And just having a staff that has that much NBA experience and years in the NBA, that is a very intriguing factor when it comes down to the recruiting process. So for me, that would be a big thing for me because I want to play in the NBA one day and I want to be a pro one day. So,
Go ahead.
So, that type of staff would really help me in that aspect.
Who are some of the other schools, Mike, that are making you high priority heading into your senior year at the moment?
Alabama, NC State, Virginia Tech, St. John's, Cincinnati, Oklahoma State, Texas A&M.
What type of style are you looking for to play in? Are you wanting to be in a more of a half court, more of a pace and space that they play here at Arkansas under Coach Musselman, or what have you decided? What style fits Mike James?
It's a little bit of both. I like to get out and run, but I also want to play in space. I also want to play in a good offense that allow me to thrive with my playing style. I like to get to the rim, finish layups. I can shoot the three pretty well, so playing the offense with space will really help me.
Now, you'll be heading in your senior year, clearly one of the top two seniors in that state of Florida, without question, as you were one of the two juniors to make the 7A All-State first team. How do you handle that, Mike, going in with it? And also, second part of that question, being from the state of Florida, you're right there with the Gators and the Seminoles. Any in-state pressure to maybe hang around the state and play for one of those two institutions?
Nah, it's crazy to me because Florida and Florida State, they haven't really recruited me, and I'm an in-state kid, so staying in state really doesn't have any type of pressure on me. I'm going to go to the school that has the best interest for me and has the best type of playing style and education-wise for me to thrive. So, staying in state isn't a really big thing for me, but going into my senior year, I just want to be the best there is in Florida. This is my state. I want to be able to one day say to my kids, I ran my state. I was the best player in my state. So
track your own. That won't be too hard. I promise you. Want everybody to know we're talking with Mike James of Oak Ridge High School out of Orlando, Florida, the 6'6" shooting guard, senior, high priority for Coach Eric Musselman and that entire staff. Corey Williams, I believe, is the lead recruiter. Mike, who are some NBA or collegiate shooting guards or just combo guards? Because I really can't put a tag on you because you're so versatile. Who are some of those guys that you like to watch at the collegiate or NBA level?
I really don't like to watch NBA players. I really like to watch college guys and other high school guys. So when I was younger, probably in my freshman season when I was in 8th grade, a guy I watched a lot. He's from Orlando. It was Nasir Little. Since he was right in my city, I went to a lot of games. People said that I would probably end up playing like him, being around his size. He's 6'6", 6'7". I grew to 6'6". We have a big body. We kind of have a similar body. So I watched a lot of him when he was in Orlando and when he was in at North Carolina. And then another guy I probably watched. He's an NBA player, but I just always been a fan of him. He played for the Magic, and I loved watching him when he was in Indiana with Victor Oladipo. You know, he's a great player. He's a shooting guard, and like I just try to kind of mimic my game after him because he's a really good player, underrated player in my eyes.
Fourth quarter, last shot. Who gets that shot and why for your ball club?
Me. I feel like we have other weapons and we have other great players. Like I have a great team, man. I can't say it enough, man. I love my teammates. We have probably the best. I probably have the best supporting cast in the state. But you know, I feel like it's my team, and when it's coming down to the last shot, I want to be the one to take it. And if I miss it, it's on me. The game is on me. But if I make it, I want to be the one to say, you know, man, we won that game because I hit that shot. But you know, if a double team comes or I drive and they really help, I can always kick it to one of my teammates and trust they're gonna hit the shot because I have a great supporting cast.
Awesome. Mike, you know, are you one of those? Are you planning on signing in the early signing period, or is this situation you still want to wait that late April period of 2021, or still sit down with the family and just hadn't made that decision yet?
We started talking about it. Like, hopefully, I was aiming towards before high school season. You know, I don't want to like wait this thing out too late. Like, I want to have a home before my high school season, so I can just focus on winning state championship. I haven't won a state championship yet in my high school career, and I don't want to go out without winning one. So I want to find me a home before the season, but I want to take my official visits first. So if the corona thing doesn't end up going away by that time, you know, the season starts in November. If the corona thing doesn't go away and I won't be able to take my official visits, I'll probably wait. But you know, if everything goes as planned, I'll probably be making my decision before the high school season.
Any ideas of some possible official visits once you're able to make those that you have in mind, maybe in the planning process?
I haven't like fully decided because I only get 5. I think I get 5.
Right.
Yeah, I get 5 official visits. So hopefully I could get down to Arkansas. I would be interested in taking a visit to Arkansas. But I don't know about any other schools. I haven't made a official visit like date with any other schools yet.
Now let's have a little fun, my man. I hope you got it. I hope you got your list ready.
I got it.
Orlando, big fella. You and me. What we vibing to in Club MJ? You and I. The first 5 songs. What are they?
Man, we're gonna go with the first song. We're gonna go with "We Paid" by Lil Baby and Dub 42. Basically, he just came out with his deluxe album. "Cleaning Crew" by Jack Boy. You know, gotta keep some Florida music on there. Jack Boy.
Boys.
"Skybox" by Gunna. You know, I like that song a lot. "Lil Talk" by NBA YoungBoy. You gotta put some YoungBoy in there, and then "Grace" by Lil Baby.
Okay. Well, I'm vibing with you. Definitely riding around Orlando with the top down, sun hitting us, just shut shades on, feeling real good. And thank you for taking time out, MJ. But I'm gonna make a statement, my man, and I want you to finish it for me. When basketball is all done with, you've played your collegiate, your professional ball, be it NBA overseas, and it's all over with. You've hung your shoes up, you're ready to do something else with the second part of your life. Mike James will be doing what with the second phase of his life?
Man, I either want to be coaching, like have my own AU team, EYBL team, or I want to be a trainer, man. I just want to help kids that were in my position get to where they want to be because I had some great people and great older people to help me get where I am today, and I just want to help impact other kids around me, especially in my city.
Well, Mike, I'm telling you, man, with the path you're on and the conversations I've had with you, I have no doubt that all that will be achieved. But let's do this. Let's not make this the last time you're on OTH. Our show is your show. Our line is your line. So throughout the season, or if you decide to make any more new news, how about you make it here on OTH and just keep us up?
For sure, for
All
sure.
right, my man. Hey, Mike, you have a blessed day, man, and hey, have a very, very successful senior campaign.
Thank you, sir.
That was Mike James out of Oak Ridge High School down in Orlando, Florida, the 6'6" shooting guard, combo guard athlete, whatever you want to call him. The man's just a baller. Demetrius, what say you on the hooper?
Man, he really reminded me of Mike Qualls, a high flyer, very athletic. Mike Qualls is about 6'4", 6'5", in that range, very lanky. But I think that separates Mike and Qualls was his stroke. I think he has a little bit better shooting. I think he'll have a better shooting percentage than Mike Qualls, but they have a very similar style game.
Well, I know somebody that has a game that Coach Jimmy Smith wants him to bring to Fayetteville. Our next guest out of Austin, Texas, Daleville High School, Tavierre Dunlap. He's about to tell you how the Hogs are sitting with him and much, much more. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Back in a moment.
Behind the bench, Atlanta gave you a chance to get on the bench. What was the difference in your responsibilities at each of those places? And I guess it was a good promotion.
I mean, in Atlanta, I game prep stuff, obviously individual development stuff. In Orlando, I had especially my first year, I had a really unique responsibility with Chuck Daly. I was a little conduit between the general manager, John Gabriel, and Chuck Daly. So I had a lot of personnel responsibilities. For instance, if we were calling up a player from the minor leagues, I basically kind of dealt with the GM because Coach Daly didn't want to deal with it and didn't know any of the minor league players, and then I did a lot of the individual player development stuff in Orlando as far as working players out pre-practice, post-practice, off-season. So I would say in Atlanta, obviously a more elevated role dealing with game preps and more scheme X and O things than maybe in Orlando.
I'm trying to remember, as a head coach of Golden State, did you face Lon Kruger as a head coach of Atlanta? Did you guys face each other?
I'm not even sure. That's a good question. You got to look that up.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Okay. Well, and what'd you learn from him? He seems like a pretty, relaxed. I don't want to say relaxed. He's a calm guy. He doesn't seem like a yelling or screamer. What was it like working for him? Did you learn something particular that you're able to add to your coaching, resume?
I mean, I learned so much from him. But X and O's. He's phenomenal. He's a great people person. The way that he dealt with practice. He's a great practice coach. He's a great preparation coach. I learned a ton from him. Just little things even. We went to...
Welcome back. It's our Thursday edition of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio. It's our final segment, but it's one of the special segments as Arkansas coach Sam Pittman, Jimmy Smith, and that entire offensive staff looking for a couple of eaters in the backfield, which at the running back spot, you got to have a bunch of those in the SEC, and they made their way all the way down to offer one of the top prospects in the state of Texas. He may be the top running back, and he's down in Austin, Texas at Daleville High School. Tavierre Dunlap. TD, welcome to OTH.
Thank you for having me. How you doing?
Doing really good, TD. Let's get into your recruiting, which is really picking up. As every time I watch on social media, TD, you're picking up a new offer. Seems like every hour or every 30 minutes, it what it seems like to me. But I want to talk about Arkansas. Coach Jimmy Smith has really reached out to you and made you a high priority. He extended the offer. Talk about that, and how is that relationship with you and Coach Smith starting to develop?
Me and Coach Smith, we got a real good relationship. We can pretty much talk about anything, and that's really important to me, being a person I'm going for.
Now, who are some of the other schools, Tavierre, that are really making you a high priority and showing what you call on social media a lot of love?
It's a number of schools. I don't even know if I can get into all that. But some probably, I'll leave some. I'll probably say Oklahoma State, Nebraska, TCU, Virginia Tech, Michigan, USC, and a couple other schools. I'm trying not to keep anybody out.
Understand.
And those type of way, stuff like that. But those are just some schools off the top of my head.
Tell me, what are going to be some of the factors that you're going to be looking for to put one school over the other when at the end of the day that final decision has to be made? What will you be looking for?
Looking for a place where I know they agree it's going to mean something, it's going to give me a job in the future. If football were to not work out, I know it's going to benefit me as a person and as a player. They're going to develop me as a running back, get me to where I need to go, and my relationship with the coach that I have.
With this new staff under Coach Sam Pittman, quite obviously they're trying to really stack the deck with major impact players in the 21 class. You're a high priority for Jimmy Smith. I mean, to be such a high priority and to be, in particular, the priority of the running back coach, how big is that for you, Tavierre?
It means a lot. It would be a really big role to fill, knowing that I mean so much to these coaches. So I'm really working on myself, making sure everything's right. So when I do go to a college program of my choice, I know I'm filling these shoes right, and I'm making an impact as soon as I get on campus.
Now, what were some of the ways that you get your workouts in? I know with this pandemic, this COVID pandemic, kind of neutralizing the United States. How have you been able, TD, to continue getting adequate workouts so that when we do get back on the field, you'll be ready to go?
Our strength and conditioning coordinator, he actually sends us workouts to the Google Classroom, and I'll go over to my coach's house and I'll work out with 2K and my teammates.
Now, when I come to the football field, and secondly, first question I want to ask you is when you sat down after your junior year with your offensive coaches, what did you feel good about, TD, and what are some of the things that you're working on here in the off season to be ready for that senior year?
I say I do everything pretty well. I do know that I probably need to work on blocking a little bit more. I'm going to stress that a whole lot more, especially protecting Jason in the backfield, because he can really sling that thing. He can, and it puts a lot of points on the board. But things I need to work on, really, I feel like I need to work on everything. Like, everything can get better, obviously. And so I'm always just going to keep working on everything. So there's always room for improvement, in my opinion.
Talking with Tavierre Dunlap, 2021 major Arkansas running back prospect for Coach Jimmy Smith, Kendall Browse, that entire offensive staff, Coach Sam Pittman there at Arkansas. He's out of Austin, Texas, Daleville High School. But when I come to Daleville, TD, and I got my popcorn and my pop, and I'm at the top bleacher, when that ball is kicked off, what type of football player will I see for 4 quarters?
You're going to see some fast, powerful, strong, and people with just a whole lot of heart. Like, it means a lot to people in Death Valley, especially in football. You're going to see that at the softball game. You're going to see that at a baseball game. You're going to see that at a basketball game. That's just how people are in Death Valley.
Who are some of the NCAA or NFL players at the running back position that you like to, study?
As far as NCAA, I really like DeAndre Swift. I like how he runs the ball. It's like everything about it. And for the NFL, I say Derrick Henry because I feel like I can relate to him just a little bit as far as size and Steve from TCU. He's really big too. So I know being a bigger back, you got to get lower. So I'll study there, see what they do, and how they're so dominant on the football field.
Tavierre, have you decided if you're going to sign in the early December signing period, or is that still something you and the family will sit down and discuss, or you plan on signing that first Wednesday of 21, that first Wednesday in February?
I still plan on signing early. It may depend on how these visits and stuff go, but that's my overall goal, is to sign early to the school of my choice.
What do you plan on majoring in once you pick your school of choice in college?
I'm not exactly sure, but I know it's something like physical therapy or kinesiology or exercise science, something kind of in that area.
Now, we're talking with Tavierre Dunlap of Daleville High School out in Daleville, Texas. The big-time 2021 running back prospect is a major priority for the University of Arkansas, Coach Jimmy Smith. And let's have a little fun, my man. We riding around. The time has come. Riding around Daleville, me and you, the OG. What are the first 5 songs on the playlist in Club TD that I get to listen to?
You gonna listen to Grace and How by Lil Baby. You gonna listen to Intro by G Herbo, Tuesday Slide by Drake, and Hypnotized by Notorious B.I.G.
Oh, see, I'm with you when you put that B.I.G. in there. You want me over. We got to ride together if I come that way. We got to go have a good, just vibe a little bit. You get me?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, I want to thank you for taking time out, and I'm going to make a statement, TD, and I want you to finish this statement for me. When football is over with and all done for Tavierre Dunlap of Daleville, Texas, Daleville High School, he's played his high school, collegiate, and NFL as he aspires to do. What does Tavierre Dunlap plan to be doing with the second phase of his life after football?
Probably, if I haven't finished my major, probably going back to school, finishing that out, just start my life as whatever job career I choose to be the best at that.
All right, well, Tavierre, hey, you did an amazing job on today's interview. I want to thank you for taking time out. Now, you got to remember, this can't be the last time that you grace the airways of OTH. You know, our show is your show, and our line is your line. So how about we, throughout the season, get some TD updates? You up for that?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Tavierre, you have a great day, and you have an even more awesome senior year, and thanks for taking time out today on the Hill, buddy.
Yes, sir, you too.
That was Tavierre Dunlap of Daleville High School down just right outside of Austin, Texas, in Daleville, Texas. The 2021 running back, Demetrius. I don't know what you saw, but I know what I saw.
The speed, I think that was the one thing that really stood out. I think the comparison of him and Derrick Henry were great running backs to really compare him to big physical guys.
Right.
And another guy that I thought even throw in there is Trent Richardson. I wouldn't say as elusive, but as far as downhill running, I think he had a lot of Trent Richardson like.
See, the thing that I've noticed in this with this staff is they're recruiting SEC football. Sam did tell us you have to understand the SEC to be able to recruit to the SEC. And when you look across the board and the kids that we've had on, the film that we've got a chance to see, they understand the SEC at a very, very high rate, and they're going out and they're trying to get some of the nation's elite, and I think they will. Maybe not get them all, but I think they're going to get their fair share as we continue on in the Sam Pittman era. But I want to give a shout out as we close today's show out to our guests. The first guest we had on was 2021 offensive tackle out of Gadsden, Alabama, Gadsden City High School, Rod Orr. The big man had a lot to say about Arkansas and Coach Brad Davis, and I hope a lot of that we'll still have to keep an eye on, because he's one that you want to have in Fayetteville if this is the place he chooses. And secondly, to the basketball world and the Must Bus. They got their eyes on Mike Jones of Oak Ridge High School down in Orlando, Florida. I think the relationship with Coach Williams, Arkansas is going to be in there in the end. I really feel the 6'6" guard has his eye on playing in the bud. Had a couple virtual visits, and from the talk I had with him, Arkansas is really one of his schools he's going to keep an eye out on. And then lastly, as we close it out, we went all the way to Texas, Daleville, Texas, Daleville High School, and we got up with TD. I call him TD, but his name is Tavierre Dunlap, the 4-star 2021 running back. I think Arkansas is going to be around, but there's a lot of schools that's going to have a chance with this young man, as the talent is undeniable and his character is even more so undeniable. But really enjoyed those guys. Want to give a shout out to our sponsors, as this would not be possible without you all. That being said, Lindsay and Associates with an office location in Fayetteville, an office location also too in Rogers. Locomotion, it's located below the Northwest Arkansas Mall in Fayetteville. Corey Beck's Custom Painting, and that one we always talk about that because we love it so much. KDK's Chicken is located down at 989 South Razorback Road. Go see Keith and Kathy. Get a plate of that love. And like it says on the building, it's not your mama's, but we added this: the best chicken and waffles in the South. Meet us there or beat us there at KDK's Chicken. Go get you some of it. Lastly, I want to give a thank you to my producer, Demetrius Johnson, for all that he do. And lastly, make a note, tomorrow at 1:30, we will have Arkansas Athletic Director Hunter Yurichek at the 1:30 hour. You don't want to miss it. Got a lot of talk. We're going to talk SEC, how things are financially, how it would hurt. Could there be a possible interconference schedule? Could we not see non-conference games? The expectation, how he feels about the coaches that he's hired during his time as the Razorback AD. All that and more. You don't want to miss tomorrow's show. That's a special haul, guys. And we're going to even have more recruits. Recruits, ADs, Who else? Who else? You never know what we might do, but we know you want to watch it. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. You guys have a blessed one, and let's get it.
TV God.